Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is nose. N-O-S-E.
Really?
You bet your life. The National Broadcasting Company presents Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz show transcribed from Hollywood. Here he is, the one, the only...
Thank you, folks. Thank you. Well, here I am again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $10,000. And if any of them say the secret word, they'll win an extra 100 smackolas.
And Groucho will meet our first couple in just a moment. Groucho, Cornelia Hendricks and Romaine Fielding are waiting to talk to you, so fortune in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Cornelia Hendricks and Romaine Fielding. You're Cornelia.
I'm Cornelia, yes, Groucho.
Are you married?
Yes.
You have 5 children, huh?
No, only 2 daughters.
You're 28 years old?
No, I'm 47.
Well, I'll try once more. Are you from Philadelphia?
No, I was born in Cimahi, Java.
You were born where?
Cimahi. That means enough water in Malay.
Enough
Java.
water in the lake? That's your name? You were born in Java, you said.
Java.
Was this with cream and sugar? I mean, were you born during a coffee break?
My folks lived there.
No. Now, your name is Romaine Fielding, huh?
That's right, Groucho.
That's you. That's right. I've been trying to think where I've heard that name. Romaine Fielding? Was he a big movie star about 40 years ago?
Oh, that's right, Groucho. Actually, he was a contemporary of Francis X. Bushman in the old silent days.
Oh, that was your father. Well, since you have his name, are you following in his footsteps? Are you in show business?
No, I have no particular talent for acting, Groucho.
Don't you have any talent? Can you sing or dance or tell jokes? Can you stand on your head?
No, the only thing when I was in the service, I used to be able to do the manual of arms forward and backward verbatim.
Well, I doubt if you can get much of a spectacular with that kind of an act.
Well, that's what I thought, too, but we had one interesting experience when I was apprentice seaman in the Navy down in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. We were lined up, all the apprentice seamen were lined up for inspection. So along came the Secretary of the Navy, which was then Mr. Knox, Admiral King, who was then Admiral of the Fleet, and the commanding officer of the vessel. And about this time, this lieutenant says to me, Sailor, step out here. You know so much about this, you don't have to...
Were you a common sailor?
I was a real common sailor.
A gob.
Oh, I was the most gobby. So anyway, he throws the piece at me and stand at attention. He said, describe the position of attention. I said, position of attention, heels on the same line as close together as confirmation man permits, feet turned out equally from an angle of 45 degrees, knees straight without stiffness, hips level and drawn back slightly, weight of body resting equally on hips, shoulders squared and falling, thumbs along the seams of the towners, back the hand out, fingers curled naturally, head erect and square to front, chin drawn back slightly, so that's the head and neck is vertical, eyes straight to front, in assuming the position of attention, heels are brought together smartly and audibly, the mind as well as the body must be at attention. I said, would the lieutenant like to have it verbatim backwards? He was sort of dumbfounded. He said, yes. I said, attention at B must body thee as well as mind be. The mind as well as the body must be at attention. Front 2 straight eyes straight 2 front.
I like it better this way. It's clear. I didn't get it the other way. Go on.
Well, anyway, so the next thing he says to me, all right, being at the position of attention to come to port arms. So I said, raise and carry the priest diagonally across the barrel of the body, regress at the same time with both hands, right the small stock, left the balance, barrel sloping, crossing opposite junction to the neck, left shoulder, right forearm horizontal, left forearm close to the body. I said, would the lieutenant like to have that verbatim backwards? He said, no.
What do you do? Jump off the ship? Well, what do you do? Is this your living? You do make a living by just saying things backwards?
No, actually...
what is your profession?
Actually,
or racket, as we call it.
I install a glamorous type of automatic laundry. Washing machines, extractors, dryers, and so forth.
Where do you sell this laundry equipment?
Well, we sell it actually all over the world.
You do, huh?
That's right.
Well, I'm for you, Romaine. The world could use a good cleaning. However, you better hurry. There's a good chance the oil is already washed up. Well, let's play You Bet Your Life and see if you can win some money, huh? You selected a dictionary quiz. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. You ready? What is a nomad? N-O-M-A-D. Nomad.
Well, it's an Arab. It's like an Arab one.
Well, a rover.
Place to place.
A rover. Yeah.
You now have one right.
What is a sampan?
Sam?
Oh, that is a Malayan boat.
That's right. It's a Chinese boat.
You now have two right.
What is a vaquero? V-A-Q-U-E-R-O.
South American horseman or cowboy.
Cowboy, yes.
You have three right. Get the next one right, and you'll have $1,000.
What is a dindle? D-I-R-N-D-L. D-I-R-N-D-L.
It's a skirt or dress.
Take the money. Take
You
the
now
money,
have
boy.
all right.
Take the money. You win the money. Wait a minute. Now, you won $1,000. You can keep it and quit, or else you can come back later and try to double your money. You may even get a chance at $5,000 or even $10,000. So go over there and sit down and think about it, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
In just a moment, our second couple will join Groucho to play You Bet Your Life. Groucho, I'd like you to meet Jack Mosley.
Why?
You know, that's hard to answer. Let me start over again. Groucho, I'd like you to meet Jack Mosley and...
Why?
Oh, just for the heck of it, huh?
Hey, watch your language. There are musicians out there.
Would you people come in? This is Junko Gordon and Jack Mosley. Here.
Well, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Junko Gordon and Jack Mosley, huh? Which one is Junko Gordon?
I am?
You're Junko Gordon.
Yes.
Huh? Well, a lot of Junko there, I must say. What kind of a name is Junko?
That's a Japanese name.
Oh.
You mean June.
Oh.
Yes?
June?
Yes.
You mean 30 days, hat September? April, Junko, and November? Junko isn't a very dignified name for me to call you. And if I call you June, you won't know what I'm talking about. That's the way Jack Parr talks. What does your husband call you? Does he have a romantic little pet name that I can call you?
Yes, he
Isn't it like Jack Parr?
He called me, Fatty.
He called you Fatty?
Yes.
Well, why does he call you Fatty? To get on the other side? No, that's another joke. Well, I better stick to Junko. Where are you from, Junk?
I come from Tokyo.
Tokyo. Well, you're very cute.
Thank you.
Gordon isn't a Japanese name, or is it?
That's an American name. My husband is American.
Your husband is an
Yes.
American. Could you tell us the story of how you met him? Is it an interesting story?
Yes, Groucho, it's a very long, long story.
They're all long stories, Junko.
Perhaps...
And the longer you're married, the longer the stories get.
Perhaps we'll never finish.
You never finish?
No.
Well, we better not. Give it to us briefly.
Okay.
Can you, Junko?
Okay.
How did you meet your husband?
Oh, I had a girlfriend and married
You were
and came
taking-
over here. And she's the one introduced my husband. And we've been corresponding about for a year.
Did you exchange photographs?
Yes, I did.
Did your husband propose by letter, or did he wait until he saw you?
Oh, after he saw me, he said, you look much better in person.
Well, you do.
Thank you.
And then what happened after he said this?
And he
What
said,
did you say when he said that you looked beautiful?
I said, so you.
What sort of work does this Romeo do? Maybe an impetuous fellow. Huh?
He's a yellow cab driver.
What about you, Jack? Are you married?
Yes, I am, Groucho. We're married 30 years.
Would you say yours is a love match?
Oh, yes. It's really
Does
nice.
your wife have any little pet names for you, like Fatty?
Well, she calls me Windbag.
Well, that's not nice. I wouldn't call you a windbag. But then, of course, I don't know you as well as your wife does. How did you meet your wife, Windbag?
Well, I answered ads in a paper in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They wanted a dry cleaner. Then I made a trip to Fort Smith and answered the ad. But before I got there, somebody's already got the job, so that let
You
me
went
out.
all the way. Where did you go from?
From Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You traveled from Tulsa to Fort Smith
Yes.
to get this job?
Sure. Jobs is hard to get in them days.
Well, what happened after that?
Well, this Mr. Darby, which was a brother-in-law to my wife now, but he taken a liking to me, and so he invited me home.
I couldn't follow this.
Well,
a man
Mr.
named
Darby.
Darby. He's just come into the picture.
yeah, he came in.
He's a brother-in-law of your wife to
Yes.
whom you weren't married at the
That's
time.
right, yes.
You understand this?
Yeah.
No, well, I don't. Well, anyway, neither of us understand it. Proceed with this
All right.
cock and bull story.
Okay. And he invited me home to meet his sister-in-law, which was Pauline, and that started something.
You went there to get a job as a dry cleaner, and you didn't get the job, but this fella immediately took you home to meet his
That's
sister-in-law?
right. Mhm.
Well, why was that? Was he supporting her? You want to get rid of her?
Well, later on, I found out that was the reason why.
Well, how many times did he have to run that ad before they found a sucker like you?
Well, I don't know. All I know, when I went to Fort Smith, the job wasn't there, so I was left out in the cold.
You arrived in Fort Smith empty-handed and left there with a wife. Huh?
Yeah, I did get something out of the deal.
You're one of the few fellas I ever heard of who got taken to the cleaners before he got married. Well, you seem very happy about it.
Oh, yeah.
You have any hobbies? I mean, do you do nothing else but just dry clean?
A strong man.
You're a strong man.
Well, I used to be with Ripley, believe it or not, and I did 6 stunts, let 6 men choke me, drive a 40-penny nail through a 2x4 with 1 punch of my fist, break 3/4-inch ropes, pull 14-ton fire trucks with my teeth, let any 6 men choke me.
Are there 6 men in the audience that would like to come up and strangle this chap? Do you still perform any of these feats of strength? What I'm getting is, could you do something for us?
Yes, I could.
I don't want anybody to throttle you up here, but could you do something?
Yes, I could. Gotcha.
What?
I could blow up and bust a brand new automobile inner tube.
Well, why would anybody want to blow up an inner tube?
I don't know. I just like to blow them up.
Is this why your wife calls you a windbag?
That's right.
Have you got an inner tube on you?
You
You have one wrapped around here.
No. That's solid.
You say you have one?
I have an inner tube with me.
Well, could you roll it out here?
Yes, I could.
Could you get it? Would you like to see him blow it?
Yes, I'd like to see it.
Say, how long does it take to blow that thing up before you start?
It'll take anywhere from 2 to 8 minutes.
Well, that's a long time. I mean, we haven't got that much time. We got to get on with the quiz. We only have a half hour. You know, could you blow up the inner tube and still answer the quiz questions?
Well, I don't think so.
Simultaneously?
I don't think I... Well, I might, but I'd rather have my wife come up here and...
Your wife, yeah.
Yes,
Mrs.
my
Windbag is in the audience?
Yes, she's in the audience.
What's your wife's name?
Pauline.
Pauline! Would you mind hopping up here? Pauline. Now, Windbag, is there any danger of this inner tube blowing the audience out of the theater?
Well, it's according to where I'm standing here, Groucho.
Now, Pauline, can he really blow up an inner tube until it explodes?
Yes, he can. I've seen him do it many times.
Well, stand outside a little bit, huh? Stand outside on the corner around San Francisco. Now, you start blowing, and we'll keep an eye on you during the quiz. And, Windbag, if you want to, you can help answer the questions while you're taking a breath.
Okay.
Are you guys ready? Oh, go ahead, Windbag, blow. Now, you selected cities and small towns of the United States. I'll give you 4 cities or towns in a particular state, and you identify the state. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Now, here are the cities and towns. Winchester, Springfield, Shawneetown, and Rock Island. What is the state?
Beg your pardon? I'm watching it.
Hey, can you play Uber on your tuber on that? Here are the cities and towns. Winchester, Springfield, Shawneetown, and Rock Island. What is the state?
Illinois.
Illinois is right. All right, right, and what state are these places? Batavia, Ithaca, Albany, and Penn Yan. Albany, Ithaca, Batavia, and Penn Yan.
New York.
And New York is right. Now, you got two right.
Right.
And what state are Carrington, Bismarck, Beach, and Fessenden? North Dakota is right. Now, you got three.
One more right, you'll have $1,000.
I can't think he's scared me.
Is he blowing or just standing there?
Are you counting?
One for your lives.
You'll have $1,000.
Titusville, Newcastle, Oil City, and Carlisle. What state? Think now. Titusville, Newcastle, Oil City, and Carlisle.
Carlisle.
Now you should know that.
No.
Huh? Yeah. Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania's right.
You got 4 in a row. You win $1,000.
All right, now you won $1,000. You can keep it and quit, or else you can come back at the end of the show and try to double your money. You may even get a chance at $5,000 or even $10,000. So go over there and sit down and think about it, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you
Goodbye.
so much.
We'll find out if any of our contestants will try for the double chance at $5,000 or $10,000 in just a moment. Groucho, only one of our contestants has decided to try for the big money tonight, and here is Romaine Fielding.
You pick a number. On this side, if you win, it'll be $5,000, and this side, $2,500 because you're single. Now, we're going to give you two chances at the wheel, so think first of a number between 1 and 10. 6. 6. Now, wait a minute. That's for $5,000. Now, think of another number for $2,500. 2. Okay. 5, 6, and 2. Now, turn the wheel. Well, neither number came up, so this question is worth $1,000. Pope John the 23rd was elevated in November of 58. He was known as the patriarch of what city? Tell me the answer, and you win $1,000.
Venice.
That's right, you won $1,000. What are you going to do with the money?
Well, I'll probably turn it over to my wife.
Congratulations, and thanks for being with us.
Thank
you
you
bet
very
your
much.
life.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is cup. C-U-P.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present the best of Groucho. Yes, friends, it's a Groucho summertime. By popular demand from your letters, from rating histories, and the acclaim of critics, the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers bring you selected shows from You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. Groucho Marx is on vacation, friends, and will return in the fall. Until then, it's fun and laughs each week this summer as we proudly present some of the best of Groucho's past shows. And here he is, the one, the only...
That's me, Groucho Marx. Well, here I am again with $3,500 for one of our couples. Okay, George, who's first to try for the $3,500?
Well, we invited some students of economics and some men from the Internal Revenue Office to the program tonight. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Francis Blevins and Mr. Raymond Sorensen. Come on in here, folks, and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome. Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. And I wish it was you. You're Francis Blevins, eh? You're a student?
Yes, I am.
Where are you from, Francis?
Huntington Park, California.
Oh. And you're with the income tax office, eh?
That's right.
Where are you from?
Moorhead, Iowa.
Cornhusker, eh?
Yes, it's kind of a small town back there.
That's all right. Some of the nicest towns in the small ones. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Why not? Did you get a $500 exemption, you know? Don't you think a wife is worth $500?
Well, $500 is an awful lot of money to me.
How about you, Francis? Would you say a wife is worth $500?
Why, yes, I would.
Your husband is a lucky man to have a wife like you. What does he do for a living?
I'm not married.
You're not married?
No, sir.
Well, things are picking up all over, huh? And your husband is luckier than I thought he was. That doesn't follow anything, but it makes a nice observation. Would you like to get married, Francis?
Well, yes, I would.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Well, I think it's every woman's ambition to get married. Besides, why do you go to college? Get a husband.
You go to college to get a husband?
Well, yes.
You can get one of those in a butcher shop. You don't have to. Where are you studying economics, Francis?
The University of Southern California.
Well, just what is economics?
Well, it's a study of the principles that regulate the purposes and activities of human beings.
No. That's certainly a long-winded way of saying you want to get married. Raymond, do you believe with this, do you agree with this thesis here?
Oh, yes, I do.
Well, tell me what she said. Such a wise guy.
Well, she said, it's a study...
Income tax department.
It's a study of human beings and their natures.
Said what?
It's a study of human beings and their nature, and,
You've got biology on the brain. Is there any value to the study of economics aside from the fact that you need it to graduate?
Oh,
and
yes.
Hook a sucker?
Oh, yes, I definitely think so.
Hook a sucker sounds like a summer resort, doesn't it? Where'd you go last year? I went to Hook a sucker for 2 weeks. And don't think they don't when they get there. Now, what's your job at the income tax office?
well, I'm
Bound to you.
I'm a floater with account section.
You're a floater? They've even got you inflated, eh? What is a floater? Something with 2 scoops of ice cream?
No, that's the one that works with in the credit department.
Well, do you have any specific job? That's a kind of a nebulous description you just gave.
Well, it's key punch.
You what?
Key punch.
I keep punching, but I'm not getting anywhere. Right? You say you're a key puncher?
That's right.
Well, what is that? What do you do?
Well, that's a machine that punches the holes in the card on your information.
Key punching sounds like a summer resort, too, doesn't it? Where'd you go last year? I went to key punching for 2 weeks. I didn't like it. I went back to Hook a sucker. How many of these miracle machines do you have?
Well, we have one big one and 12 little ones.
Now, I'm a little old to believe that. I don't care how big the machine is, it would still take 2 of them. Would you mind explaining just what this machine does?
Well,
Say there's one big one and it makes 12 little ones.
no, you see it multiplies and adds, subtracts on your card. It takes care of your card within a second.
Within a second? Well, that's a remarkable machine. Now, in other words, your machine can figure out exactly how much tax I owe in less than a second. Is that it?
That's right.
Well, its tubes are going to be old and gray before it figures out how to collect it. Well, I learned a lot about taxes and economics tonight, and if I was smart, I'd go hide in a cave until around April 1st. Now, let's see how well you work together as a team. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at $3,500. But first, I want you to pay close attention to something important.
Friends, your DeSoto Plymouth dealer invites you to take the 5-mile trial in a new DeSoto. He wants you to see it in action through stop-and-go traffic and out on the open highway. From behind the wheel of the mighty Fire Dome 8, find out the tremendous power the new DeSoto 160-horsepower V8 engine gives you, and on regular gasoline, too. Discover what that extra DeSoto power means to you in acceleration on hills, in straightaway passing ability. See how it increases your driving pleasure and safety. Also judge the amazing convenience of DeSoto full power steering that takes the work out of turning the steering wheel and makes parking a cinch. Find out about DeSoto's super safe power brakes and a host of other great DeSoto features. Tomorrow, stop at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers and ask to take the 5-mile trial in either the 160-horsepower Fire Dome 8 or the DeSoto Power Master 6. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, the low-priced car most like high-priced cars.
Well, let's see if you'll get the chance at the $3,500. George? I used to call him Fenneman. George, we're getting very chummy now. George, tell him the rules.
All right. Each of our three couples has $20, and they bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. And the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $3,500 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You select the duties of the cabinet members.
Yes.
Here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to risk?
$10.
$10. What member of the cabinet is in charge of the legal matters of our nation?
The Attorney General.
They have $30 now.
You got $30. All right. Remember, you're going for $3,500. Now, how much of the 30 are you going to risk this time?
$20.
$20. What member of the cabinet is in charge of domestic trade? Take a stab at it, kids.
Department of Interior. Secretary of Interior.
No, I'm sorry. It's the Secretary of Commerce.
They've dropped to $10 now.
Well, that's too bad. Here's your third question. How much of the 10 are you going to bet?
$5.
$5. What cabinet member is in charge of the farm credit of our country?
Department of Agriculture.
Well, you're starting to get it back. You have $15 now.
All right. Now you've got $15. Here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much of the 15 you going to risk?
15.
15. What member of the cabinet is in charge of the safeguarding of national security?
Secretary of Defense.
The Secretary of Defense is right.
And you'll wind up with $30 from the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America.
Don't go away, Francis.
Groucho. Groucho, the secret word is still cup.
Still Cup, eh? I used to know a man named Still Cup. He ran a pool hall in Savannah. No relation, though, I suppose.
None.
Who's next, Mr. Fenneman?
Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a public stenographer. Her name is Miss Lou Laurie. Her partner is a married man from the studio audience, Mr. Earl Brown. Folks, come on in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers. Say the secret word and you divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. A public stenographer and a husband, eh? Lou Laurie, you're the steno?
Yes.
Where are you from, Lou? It's a man's name, isn't it, Lou?
It's not a man's name for me.
Well, I shouldn't think so. No.
I'm from Evanston, Illinois.
You couldn't fool me by pretending you're a man. Because...
People call up and ask for Mr. Lou all the time, though.
Well, if I call up, I'll ask for Mrs. Lou. I won't ask. You're from where?
Evanston, Illinois.
Evanston, oh, well, that's where Northwestern University
right.
is, huh? And Earl Brown, huh?
That's right, sir.
What's your hometown?
Well, I was born right near Cubs Park, in Chicago.
Oh, on the infield or the outfield?
Just a few blocks away.
Uh-huh. Who do you work for, Earl?
I work for Oshkosh B'gosh.
Now, this is no time for facetiousness, Earl. I asked you a civil question. I expect a civil answer. Who do you work? These are serious days. These are grave times we're living in. And we just don't subscribe to those kind of answers, no. Who do you work for?
Oshkosh B'gosh Overall Company, I should say. Out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
B'gosh?
That's right. That's the name of the firm.
Well, what do you do for them? Are you the B'gosh or the Oshkosh?
I'm a salesman.
Salesman?
Traveling on the road.
Uh-huh. Now, you're a public stenographer, is that right?
That's right.
Lou? What are your duties as a public stenographer?
Oh, I take dictation and transcribe notes and type and do mimeographing, and I'm a notary public.
Oh. Suppose I came into your office. Would you take a letter from me?
I sure would.
Okay, let's see how good you are. Take a letter.
Oh, well, I don't have any pencil or paper or anything.
Oh, you don't, huh? George? Mr. Fenneman? Have you got a piece of... Oh. How did you anticipate this?
Oh, this is my scorecard here.
Oh, I see. Are you ready to take dictation, Lou?
Yes.
Well, would you rather sit down and take it?
Yes, I would.
Well, so would I. Come here, babe.
I think I can take it standing up, thank you. I can take it standing up.
What's the matter? You're a secretary, aren't you?
Yes.
Now sit on my lap and let's get to work. All ready?
Yes.
Okay, throw the pencil away. I'll tell you what you do. You sit down and I'll stand up and dictate. Now, let's go. I want this letter to go to Sam Gribelovich in St. Paul, Minnesota. How long is it going to take?
Oh, it'll take about 2 days.
2 days? In that case, you better get back on my lap again. I'll take a letter to Sam Gribelovich. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Got that?
You said St. Paul.
He moved. It was too cold in Minneapolis. Have you got that down?
Yes. How do you spell the man's name?
Sam Gribelovich. Sam is S-A-M. Let's forget the whole thing. If you can't spell it, I'll call him on the phone. Besides, he can't read anyway. Well, I've learned a lot about public stenographers tonight, but not the things I wanted to learn. Now, let's see if you can run your $20 into more than our other couples and get a chance at the $3,500 question. That's the DeSoto Plymouth question. Now, George is off stage to remind our listeners how much the first couple won.
The student of economics and the Internal Revenue man won $30.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You select a Dictionary Digest. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
15.
All right, now you're going to give me a synonym. If you were inebriated, what would you be?
Drunk.
Drunk is right.
Well, you're on your way. You folks have $35.
$35. Remember, you're going for $3,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 35 you're going to try now?
All but 5.
Yes, that's fine.
All right, if you were corpulent, what would you be?
Fat.
Fat is right. Fat is right.
And you'll have $65.
That's a very... Here's your third question. You have $65. How much will you bet?
60.
60. Now, if you were loquacious, what would you be?
Talkative.
Talkative is right.
You're now trying to $125.
You wouldn't call... You'd say Gabby Hayes. You wouldn't call him Talkative Hayes. Or Loquacious Hayes. Nobody know what you were talking about. You have $125. Here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much of the 125 are you going to venture?
120.
120. If you were indolent, what would you be? INDOLENT.
Lazy?
Lazy, I guess.
Lazy is right.
And you wind
You're
up
going to
with...
give her a big kiss after that.
Well, I'd love to.
Mrs. Brown! What are you doing here?
You folks have wound up with $245 from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers, and thank you very much.
Who's next, Mr. Fenneman?
We asked if there were any young single people present tonight who'd like to get married someday if they found the right partner. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Marilia de Locio y Silva.
What's your language, Fenneman?
And Mr. Bernard Johnson. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. You say the secret word, you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. A bachelor and an old maid, eh? Well, you're hardly an old maid. A bachelor and a young maid, I would say. Wouldn't you?
It depends.
I beg your pardon. You'll have to talk Spanish if you want me to understand. Marilia de Locio y Silva, is that right?
Almost.
Well, that's close for me, eh? And Bernard Johnson, that's much easier for me to handle.
That's right, Groucho.
How old are you, Marilia?
21.
21, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And Bernard?
26.
26, eh? Well, you two have a lot in common already. You're a boy and she's a girl. How shrewd can you get? What sort of work do you do?
I'm a stock and bond broker with Bateman Eichler and Company here in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. You're one of the fellows who wiped me out in 1929. I mean, your forefathers.
It might have been my father. I didn't...
And Miss Silva, what sort of work do you do?
I'm a student.
You're a student?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
UCLA.
Oh, UCLA, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you from?
Brazil.
Oh. And you're one of our good neighbors, huh?
Oh, yes.
Are you a friendly neighbor?
Oh, yes.
Real friendly?
Yes.
Would you like to do a favor for a neighbor like a good neighbor should?
Oh, sure.
How about lending me half a pound of coffee? Where in Brazil are you from?
São Paulo.
Well, how long have you been at UCLA?
1 year and a half.
Why did you choose UCLA in preference to any other university? Did you hear about it in Brazil?
No, it's because they have the field that I'm interested in.
Well, you're interesting in any field. You'd even be interested in a cornfield. Or a wheat field. Let's not confine this to any particular field.
You are almost right, because it's about that I'm interested in.
You're interested in a cornfield?
Yes.
Well, you see, I'm a pretty accurate prophet, that's all. Now, how long have you been up here?
In the United States or in California?
Yes, in the United States. Well... I'll thank you not to differentiate like that. How long have you been in the United States?
3 years.
3 years. And what made you choose UCLA? Couldn't have been their football team.
No, because they have the major that I'm interested in.
They have a major there that you find interesting?
No.
Wouldn't you settle for a captain or a sergeant? What's his name?
Agriculture.
Major agriculture? You're taking up agriculture?
Yes.
Isn't that a kind of a curious study for a young, attractive girl?
Yes.
Do you propose to do anything with this knowledge, or...
Oh, yeah.
You just after the major. Which is it?
No, I plan to go back and work with agriculture in Brazil.
Oh. Well, isn't that unusual?
It is.
You couldn't use an old cowhand down there. By the way, I've often wondered how Latin Americans feel when they hear us calling ourselves Americans. What do you call us? Remember, we're on the air.
Yankees.
Yankees?
Mm-hmm.
Yankees, huh? Some people in the South call us Yankees, too, you know. Only they put another word in front of it. It's a secret word, something that beavers build across dams. Now, what language do you speak in Brazil?
Portuguese.
Could you say something in Portuguese? Tell Bernard over here what you think of him so far. Now, go ahead.
Você é rapaz muito alinhado.
Well, that's probably true, but he'll lose it as he gets older. Now, you look intelligent and alert. What did she say about you, Bernard?
I haven't any idea.
A lovely girl, young, single, and Latin, and you haven't any ideas at all? You're not as alert as I thought you were, Bernard. Well, you make a charming and attractive and clever couple, and I hope you'll be very happy together. Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You beat our other two couples, and you'll get a chance at the $3,500 DeSoto Plymouth question. I can't tell you how much our other couples won, but George, Mr. Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The public stenographer and the married man are leading with $245.
Well, let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected famous painters as your category. Here's your first question. How much are you going to bet?
How much shall we bet? 10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 10.
Okay. What famous artist painted The Last Supper?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci is right.
And you're on your way. You have $30.
To be or not to be, whether 'tis noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
27. 27.
Fine, I'm reciting Shakespeare, and they're haggling over $2. Remember, you're going for $3,500. How much are you going to bet? How much?
$27.
$27. Okay. Who painted The Age of Innocence?
Reynolds.
Reynolds is right.
And you climbed to $57.
You going to kiss me after the show for remembering that? How much are you going to bet of the 57? 56.
No.
You have $57.
Okay, 55.
Hines and every pickle he's got is listening to this one in Cincinnati.
55, yes.
$55. What is the name of the surrealist painter who does pictures of limp watches?
That's
Dali.
Dali is right.
Now you climb to $112.
I remember him very well. He used to be one of the Dali sisters. You have $112. It's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much is the 125? 112.
111. Compromise.
111. Now, why did you say 111? I'm curious about this.
I can buy her that Coke with the 50 cents I might win.
Oh, you can get her a Coke and 2 pair of pants. Who painted the famous portrait of the artist's mother?
Whistler.
Whistler is right. Go there, kid.
And you two wind up with $223. And that means the stenographer and the married man with $245 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $3,500 question.
George, I'll ask them the big question in just 1 minute, but first I want them to hear about something real important.
Friends, in this hot weather, it's especially important to keep your car in good running order by taking it regularly for service to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, more than ever, the cooling system should be checked. Oil filters and air cleaners should be examined to protect the engine. Then, too, faulty ignition creates excess heat and wastes gas and oil. These things are easily corrected, and even major repairs are a cinch for the master technicians at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. These men are thoroughly experienced and trained in factory methods. They use the most modern tools and equipment. And if a new part is required, your DeSoto Plymouth dealer can supply you immediately with the right factory-tested and approved part. So be sure your car is fully protected these hot days. Take it where you see the famous sign of better service, the friendly sign of a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And here's a stenographer and the married man all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $3,500 question.
All right, you want to get back on my lap for this, or... Here we go for $3,500. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Here it is. According to historians, what is the oldest city in the world that is still inhabited? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Egypt.
Oh, I'm sorry. The answer is Damascus. Well, you lost the big money, but you won how much?
$245 in the quiz.
Well, congratulations and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time for the Best of Groucho from the You Bet Your Life series. Don't miss the Best of Groucho on television, too. Also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, see the DeSoto Fire Dome 8 tomorrow.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Cross town or cross country. Slow down for blind intersections and be prepared to stop.
You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith, music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is tree. T-R-E-E.
Really?
You Bet Your Life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Groucho! That's me, Groucho Marx. Well, here I am again with a mountain of Mazuma. $4,000 for one of our couples. Mr. Fenneman, who's first to try for the $4,000?
Well, Groucho, just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected two ladies. Mrs. Martha Hendley, who works in a health food store, and Miss Nancy Williams, a young lady who climbs mountains as her hobby, and here they are. Ladies, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, girls, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Nancy Williams, which one is... You're Nancy? You're Nancy, huh? You're a mountain climber?
That's right.
Where are you from?
Chicago.
Oh. And, Miss Hendley, huh?
Yes.
Are you from Chicago, too?
Yes, I am.
Oh, what a coincidence. I'll call you Nancy, huh? No, you're...
Martha.
I'll call you Martha, huh?
All right.
Why do you call me Nancy? I don't know. Let's talk about your health foods. Where do you work?
328 North La Brea, Alfred's Health Foods.
Alfred's, huh? Is Alfred pretty healthy?
Yes, he is.
Well, what is health food exactly?
It's food that hasn't been denatured, live foods.
Live foods?
Live foods.
You mean you chase a cow and eat him while he's running?
Food that hasn't been denatured, unbleached.
Yeah.
Unrefined and unbleached.
I used to have a dame like that, huh? She finally did bleach, but she never did get refined. Could you give me a good reason why I should eat health foods?
Yes.
Well, don't stare at me that way. Why are they good?
Full of vitamins and
They're
minerals.
full of minerals?
Minerals and vitamins.
Mrs. Henley, I've been wondering exactly what is a vitamin?
If you find it in your foods,
What do these vitamins look like?
you can't see them.
Well, how do you know they're there?
They're on the label.
Well, in that case, I'll just eat the label. They don't taste very good, but they certainly stick with you. Well, how many minerals are there in the body?
90 in our bodies and 40 in the food.
I see. Well, there's really 41 because last week I found a nail in my scrambled eggs. What happened to the other 50 minerals that are missing?
The Department of Agriculture hasn't
Could
discovered
you talk a little louder?
The Department of Agriculture hasn't discovered the other 40.
They haven't, huh? Well, how do they know there's 90 if they've only discovered 40? That's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? That's Washington for you, though. 50 minerals missing, and they don't even have an investigating committee. Let's talk about mountain climbing, Nancy. Eh? Why should anyone want to climb a mountain? I mean, what is the object?
Get to the top.
Oh, is that the direction they go in? After they get to the top, I mean, what's up there?
Not very much, just the top.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. Then what do?
Climb back down.
I apologize for saying that made sense. Don't they even look at what's on the other side when they get up there?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sometimes they even go back down the other side.
Why don't they just go around the mountain? They'd get to the same place, wouldn't they?
They wouldn't be mountain climbers then if they just went around.
No, but they'd be pretty shrewd cookies. Are there many enthusiasts in Southern California?
Well, yes, there are many enthusiasts all over California, as a matter of fact.
Uh-huh.
I belong to the Sierra Club of California, which is devoted to mountain climbing and conservation.
Is that all you're devoted to, just mountain climbing?
Well, no.
No. What else are you devoted to, Nancy?
That's a leading question.
Yes, it is, and I'd like a leading answer. What do you have to know to be a mountain climber?
Oh, you should know a good deal of technique, particularly. You need to know something about the kind of snow you can climb on, this kind of snow you can't climb on.
Well, suppose you're slipping off ice. What happens?
You reach for the ice.
You reach for the ice. Huh? Do you have bourbon with you, or just the...
You take it straight.
I suppose I'm climbing and my foot slips. What do? Pick a soft spot 3,000 feet below?
Well, you're supposed to, the person who's climbing, you're supposed to yell out, fall, first.
You holler fall before you're falling? How do you know
fall.
if you're going to fall if you holler?
Well, if you fall, you're falling. Then you call fall.
Well, isn't that too late? Once
No.
you're falling, isn't that pretty late to holler?
That warns your belayer that you're going to fall, and he can catch
That
you.
warns who?
The belayer.
Oh, this is a new character. I haven't met him. Now, is this the fellow you're going with, Steady?
He's the one that stops you from falling.
Well, what happens specifically when somebody falls down a mountain? What happens?
Well, the person who's belaying, the climber, is in such a spot that the jerk won't pull him off.
Why do you go out with a jerk in the first place? Well, it's been very interesting talking to you two. Of course, I still didn't know whether to get my health out of a bottle or hanging at the end of a rope. Neither one sounds very healthy. However, let's see how you make out in the battle for the $4,000. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life. But first, I want you to pay close attention to this.
It's great. It's new. It's designed for you. DeSoto. DeSoto is the car that is new, completely new. DeSoto Plymouth dealers want to show this car to you. So see the new DeSoto. Drive the new DeSoto. No other car rides like a DeSoto.
When folks get together and start talking about new cars, you'll find the car that's creating the most interest is the new 1951 DeSoto. Because no other car rides like a DeSoto. One ride in this great new car, and you'll be amazed by the feel of that new higher-powered engine that's raring to get up and go. You'll get the smoothest ride of your life, thanks in great part to those new Oriflow shock absorbers. You'll appreciate the extra safety you get from DeSoto's safety rim wheels, that protect your family in case of blowout. Also, those big new 12-inch brakes. No other car in America has larger brakes. Yes, these are the features that are really getting talked about. Features that make this new DeSoto a revelation to ride and to drive. So if you're planning on buying a new car, you owe it to yourself to visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealer and see the new 1951 DeSoto. What do you say to that, Groucho?
No other car rides like a DeSoto. Now, let's see if you'll get the chance at the $4,000. Mr. Fenneman.
Yes, sir.
Would you mind explaining the rules?
You bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions.
Such
And the
dignity.
couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $4,000 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected historical American sites. Now, here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to try? $10. Where did Lincoln make his most famous address?
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg is right on the nail.
And you're off to a good start. You have $30.
Remember, you're going for $4,000 tonight. Now, how much of your $30 are you going to bet this time? 20. Where was gold discovered in California in 1848?
Not at Sutter's Mill, but...
Sutter's Mill is right. You said it. We had to squeeze that out of her that time.
You now have
You were
$50.
halfway up the mountain that time, man. You have $60. Here's $50. How much of the 50 are you going to try?
40.
The Declaration of Independence was adopted by the Continental Congress in what city?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is correct.
You now have $90.
All right, you have $90. Here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much of the 90? Shoot the works. In what river did Robert Fulton launch his first steamboat? Come on, kid.
The Hudson River.
The Hudson River is right.
And you wind up with a grand total of $180. Thank you very much.
We'll see you later, girls. What have you to say, Mr. Fenneman?
Groucho, the secret word is still tree. We looked through our studio audience tonight for housewives and house renovators. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. Harold Wood. He's the house renovator. And his partner is a housewife, Mrs. Lily Anderson. And here they are. Folks, come in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Lily Anderson. What kind of a name is that, Lily?
It's a Swedish name.
Swedish, huh? What part of Italy are you from?
County Cork, Ireland.
You're from County Cork, Ireland, huh?
Yeah.
Why did you leave Ireland?
Well, I couldn't take it, could I?
No, you couldn't take it, but you could have pulled out the quart and drank it. Mr. Harold Wood, where'd you come from?
London, England.
Why did you leave London?
Because I liked it better here.
You crossed me, didn't you? Huh? Mrs. Anderson, you're married, I presume. How'd you meet your husband?
Well, I was coming home from work in an automobile factory, and I noticed he was tagging on behind me.
What do you mean? He was hiding on the back of the car?
No, I wasn't on a car. I was walking. I was on Shanksmere. So?
You're on where?
On Shanksmere.
You're welcome. What is Shanksmere?
That's your feet.
Oh,
What we use back in Ireland.
it's my feet, huh?
My feet.
Well, my feet were never in Ireland, so I don't think...
Well, anyway, he was tagging on behind me, making it more American, and I left him. Tag
You
on.
weren't even married to him, and you left him
I
already?
left him tag on.
Oh, you left him tag on.
Oh, well, I got in home anyway, and he kept outside the house giving a little tap at the fence, and my mother said, "Get out and give that fella the brush off." So I went out and said I made a date.
Where was this?
In Cork.
Why did you leave Ireland?
I better answer it. I left Ireland because my husband came to California
And you
sent
wanted to be,
for
you
me,
wanted
and
to
I
be-
had to be with him.
Well, I don't blame him for sending for you. And Mr. Wood, you're a house renovator? What kind of... Now, stop bowing. You're not Shank's mayor, you know. Just what is a house renovator, Mr. Wood?
Well, we clean private homes.
I see. I used to have a friend who cleaned private homes. He's now in jail. Don't look at me that way, Mr. Wood. I didn't mean it. I'd throw myself at your Shank's mare. Now, just what do you mean you clean private homes?
Well, we clean ceilings, walls, woodwork, and things like that.
How much do you get for a job like that?
Well, according to the size of the home, maybe around $400 or $500.
I don't know whether you clean the home, but you're saying you clean the customer. What are some of the hazards of your job, Harold?
Well, cleaning ceilings is a pretty hard job on planks.
What else? Did you ever have any accidents while you were cleaning?
Well,
the room?
I got my head stuck between a stove and an icebox. I tried to get it out.
Your head was stuck between a stove and an icebox?
That's right.
You must have blown hot and cold there. How about you, Mrs. Anderson? Anything embarrassing ever happened to you?
Yeah.
What?
Even last Monday night.
What happened last Monday?
Well, I think it was very embarrassing anyway. I went down to Newbury's to buy something, and, I went down to the basement. I suppose you know where the basement is.
Yes, it's down below,
yeah.
isn't it?
Well, I made a purchase there, and after a while, I made my way to come up. Came over to the escalator, and I kept on going up, but I was still not getting up. And I thought, what the heck is wrong?
Steady there, Mrs. Anderson.
I looked around.
Steady, there are sailors out front here tonight. We can't afford any loose talk here, Mrs. Anderson. Here you are, halfway up the basement. Now, what happened?
Yeah, well, I was coming down again, you see, so there was a man next door.
Now, when you went back again, did you have to make another purchase?
I did not. I just looked at this man. He looked at me in amaze. He says, Madam, if you want to get up, go to the other side. That's an escalator coming down you're on. I think I was embarrassed enough.
Well, you're accustomed to Shank's mare, and it's hard to get used to an escalator.
Well, I have worse. That's one. I had many.
Do you ever have any complaints against your customers, Mr. Wood?
No.
This is one of the densest woods I've ever been in. Come on, out with it, Harold.
Well, I tell you.
And about time, too.
I was cleaning a place where we cleaned the wrong room, and the woman wanted me to put the dirt back on the wall to make it even with the other rooms.
Now, when it comes to cleaning walls and scrubbing the floors and other hard work, do you use any special equipment, Mrs. Anderson?
Nothing, only my husband.
That's a typical wife for you. She'd rather mop the floor the old-fashioned way with her husband. Well, thanks to you two, I know all about spring cleaning. Now, let's see if you can beat the other couples and get the chance at the $4,000. Now, you run your $20 into more than the others. I can't tell you how much our first couple won, but George Fenneman, Mr. Squire Fenneman, is off stage to remind our listeners.
Our two ladies, the health food clerk and the mountain climber, won $180.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected male of the species. Now, here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to risk?
Try 10.
All right, try 10. All right. Here we go. For $10, what do you call a male cow?
A bull?
A bull is right.
And you're on the way. You have $30.
She looked at Harold and got the answer immediately. That's right. All right, remember you're going for $4,000. How much of the $30 you're going to bet this time?
Bet half it.
Half it.
All right, what do you call a male pig?
A sow. No.
One answer between you.
No.
You can answer. Female.
I'm sorry, it's a boar. You should have looked at me and got that. Huh?
You now have $15.
You got $15. Here's your third question. How much will you bet?
You decide.
How much was it?
15.
Okay.
Harold, hurry up before
Five.
inflation gets us, huh? The money will be worthless by the time you get it down. How much you going to bet? 15? $5. What do you call a male sheep?
A ram?
A ram is right.
Now you're back to $20.
This is your last chance to be the other couples. How much you going to bet?
10.
10.
Yeah.
All right. What do you call a male goat?
Billy we got.
That's right. A billy goat is right.
And you wind up with $30.
Wind up with $30.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye, Harold. I'll see you as soon as you wake up. Huh?
Groucho,
Yes, Mr. Fenneman.
the secret word is still tree.
Who's next?
I was going to say we looked through the studio audience for couples, married couples, who have unusual occupations. And just before we went on the air, Mr. and Mrs. E.R. Cross were chosen. Folks, come in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, kids, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And you say the secret word, and you win $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. and Mrs. E.R. Cross. Mr. Cross, what does the E.R. stand for besides
Those are my initials.
Those are your initials? What does it? What do the E.R. stand for?
Ellis Royal, but I never use it.
Well, you have my sympathy, Mr. Cross. What does your wife call you, Ellis?
She calls me Cross.
Why do you call him Cross?
Well, that's his name.
Excellent reason. What does your husband call you, Mrs. Cross?
He calls me Jerry.
Uh-huh. Now, you two were selected because of your unusual occupations. Ellis, what do you do?
I'm a deep sea diver.
Oh. Well, most of us have a hard time keeping our heads above water these days. And what is your unusual occupation, Jerry?
Well, I help him.
You help your husband?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's unusual for a wife these days. You mean you're a deep-sea diver, too?
Yes, I am.
You're awfully dry for a deep-sea diver.
I feel very dry, too.
You know what Shanks Mare is?
Sure, your feet. Your legs.
Everybody knows that but me. How did you meet your husband? Were you taking a stroll at the bottom of the ocean, Jerry?
No, I met him in a nightclub in Panama.
Well, that's appropriate. You met him in a dive. Now, how many times have you gone down in the water?
300
Mrs. Cross,
times.
huh?
I've been down
300 times? You must have a strong constitution. Most people get down 3 times and it's curtains. How does it feel to go deep under the water?
Well, I always get very lightheaded and very giddy and also very happy.
What you actually mean is the lower you get, the higher you get. Is that right? Aren't you afraid when you're walking around underwater? What worries you most down there?
What worries me most underwater?
When you're down deep.
Well, I guess the thing that worries me the most is getting my air hose twisted.
There's a woman for you. 50 feet underwater, and she's worrying about her hose being twisted. Vanity, vanity, all is vanity. Now, Mr. Cross, what are some of the hazards of deep-sea diving? How about sharks? Don't they bother you?
Well, sharks and other fish, too, will bother you if they're agitated or cornered.
Uh-huh.
I think, from my own experience, the seal has been about as troublesome as any of them.
Mm-hmm. Are they ferocious, the seals?
No, they're just playful.
What kind of fish are?
What kind of fish
you
are
ever
ferocious?
encounter a whale down there, or don't they go that deep?
Normally, the whale is hazardous from the standpoint of upsetting your boat. He likes to scratch his back on the bottom of your diving boat.
Well, who wouldn't? What's the deepest you've been down, Mr. Cross?
320 feet.
And what is it like that far down?
Oh, the visibility is very poor, sort of a bluish light.
And how far can you see?
Oh, all you can see is 6 feet.
6 feet? Who do they belong to, the Andrews sisters? What is the deepest you've submerged, Jerry?
152 feet.
Only 152 feet? Is that the best you could teach your wife, Mr. Cross?
Well, that was the world's record for the women.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. I want to tell you that it's an honor to meet the one woman who sunk lower than all the rest. I want to congratulate you, Mrs. Cross. And you too, Mr. Cross.
Thank you.
Well, you're an interesting couple, and I'm sorry I didn't learn more about diving. Deep-sea diving. But the whole thing's too deep for me anyway. Now, in just a minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at $4,000. I can't tell you how much our other couples won, but Mr. Fenneman is going to remind our listeners.
The health food clerk and the mountain climber are still leading with $180.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. Here's your first question. Now, how much of the $20 are you going to try?
10, I think.
You selected islands of the world. Is that right? Here's your first question. You're going to bet $10. What country owns Sicily?
Italy.
Italy is right.
You're off to a good start. You have $30.
Remember, you're going for $4,000 tonight. Now, how much of your $30 you going to bet?
20.
$20. What country owns the island of Bali?
The island of Bali?
Holland.
Well, I think that's right. It's Netherlands, but I think Holland is... I think that's a good answer.
Now you have $50.
Here's your third question. Now, how much are you going to bet this time? You have $50.
40.
$40. What country owns the island of Corsica?
I think it's Greece.
Talk it over. All right.
I'm
Is that...
wild guess. You'd say Spain.
What are you going to say now? One answer. What are you going to say?
Countries left.
Corsica.
Come on.
I'll say it's Greece.
No, I'm sorry. No, it's France.
France, oh.
They now have $10.
Here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much of the 10 are you going to go for?
I have to go all.
All right. What country owns the island of Honshu? Honshu. Japan is right.
Well, you wind up with $20, and that means the health food lady and the mountain climber with $180 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $4,000 question.
It's great. It's new. No other car rides like a DeSoto.
Friends, the brand new 1951 DeSoto meets every demand you can ask of it. Take comfort. DeSoto's new Oriflow shock absorbers cushion every inch of your ride. No other car rides like a DeSoto. As for safety, DeSoto has big 12-inch brakes that stop you quicker, safer. In fact, no other car in the United States has larger brakes. And when it comes to beauty, well, the new DeSoto is in a class by itself. The best-looking car on the highway. A car that you'll really be proud to own. Add to all these DeSoto's chair-high seats, completely waterproof ignition, increased visibility, and a host of other features, and you'll begin to realize just how much extra value DeSoto really gives you. Yet it costs very little more than the lowest price cars. Yes, folks, we think the new DeSoto has everything you would put in a car if you were designing it. So see the new DeSoto. Drive the new DeSoto. As Groucho says,
no other car rides like a DeSoto.
And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell the great new Plymouth.
All right, George, now bring out our winning couple.
All right, Groucho. Here they come. The health food lady and the mountain climber, all set for their try at the $4,000 DeSoto Plymouth question.
Here we go for $4,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully, and no help from the audience. Here it is. 5 of our presidents had the same first name. For $4,000, tell me, what name was it? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
George.
No, I'm sorry, it's James. It was Madison, Monroe, Polk, Buchanan, and Garfield were all named James. I'm sorry, better luck next time, and thanks for coming over. How much did they win?
They won $180
Well,
in the quiz, Groucho.
that's not so bad. So that means the big question next week will be worth $4,500. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $180 in the quiz. Congratulations and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $4,500. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, every time you look at a front page or listen to a news program, you're reminded of events that make the American Red Cross more vital than ever. Answer your 1951 Red Cross appeal. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is coat. C-O-A-T.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Groucho! That's me, Groucho Marx. Well, here I am again, and tonight I've got $4,500. It's the biggest big question in the history of this show. Now, George Fenneman, who's first to try for the $4,500?
Well, we invited some doctors to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air...
Need one,
our studio audience selected Dr. Eugene Hoffman. His partner is a housewife from the audience, Mrs. Mildred Gordon. And here they are, folks. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers. And you say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something people wear. A doctor and a housewife, eh? Mrs. Mildred Gordon, where are you from?
I'm from Kansas.
Kansas?
That's right.
Oh. What is your hometown, Doc?
I'm from Effingham, Illinois.
Where?
Effingham, Illinois.
You just made that up, didn't you?
No, that's the real town.
I should imagine that you would be from Medicine Hat, being that you're a doctor.
No, that's too far north.
I see. And pretty feeble, too, as a joke, huh? Now, Doctor, is it true that most medical men are specializing nowadays?
No, the trend now is towards general practice, where your hands are not tied.
I see. Well, that's a good idea for a doctor. I never like to see a doctor with his hands tied. Unless he's got his eye on my appendix. You know, I go to a brain, liver, and kidney specialist twice a week. Maybe you know him.
What's his name?
I don't know his name. He's the butcher in Beverly Hills.
No, on the contrary. It's very interesting.
Don't get too interested. He'll send you a bill. Why should you be interested?
Well...
You look like a fairly healthy specimen.
I write mystery and suspense stories, so naturally I'm interested in the medical aspects of murder.
Oh, I see. Well, what are some of the unusual ways you've used to murder people? I'm sure the doc here will be fascinated by.
Well, are you asking out of curiosity, or do you have homicidal intentions? There are people...
Well, I'd say it's about 50-50.
There are People listening, you know. I hope.
Well, I'm sure someone will be listening to this.
Well, I'll tell you, you buy a copy of our book, Make Haste to Live. I've got a lot of ways to murder people in there, a whole long list of them.
Can I get one wholesale? Doc, has anything embarrassing ever happened in your work? I mean, of someone who's still alive.
Yes, I've had several embarrassing things happen to me. In surgery, for instance. One time we were operating, and...
What do you mean we? There was two of you working on this victim at the same time?
Oh, there was more than that. There was 5 of us.
You must have cut him up good, huh? And he got 5 bills at the conclusion of this operation?
No, only 1.
Oh, I see. But what happened?
Well, my assistant was tying...
What part were you operating to begin with?
We were taking out a kidney.
Took 5 of you to take out 1 kidney?
Yes.
I took out a kidney the other night, and it was just me and she. That's not very grammatical, but authentic. Well, what happened?
And as I took off the hemostat, why, his tie slipped.
His tie slipped?
Well, his suture, the catgut that he was using to tie off the bleeder, you see.
Well, if the tie fits you, it'll suit you all right. I sucked that out of him, didn't I?
So I said to the scrub nurse, give me a stick tie. And nothing happened, and when
I should think not, huh? How many scrub nurses have a stick tie? We usually wear a blouse and a skirt and let it go.
So when nothing happened, I looked up, and everybody was laughing, and I suddenly found out that I didn't have any pants on. I'd lost my pants. So then the circulating nurse came along, and she said...
Now, had this nurse been circulating before you lost your pants?
Yes,
that's what I'd like, a circulating nurse.
Yes, that was part of her duties, to circulate.
I see.
So she came along and said, Doctor, may I pick up your pants? So I said thank you, and she did, and we went on with the operation.
Now, was the victim still alive while all this was going on? He didn't know what was going on at all.
No,
Did you tell him later?
No, I never told him.
Well, Doc, I'm glad you're here. That was very interesting and kind of revealing. Now, let's see how well you can work together as a team. In just 1 minute, you're going to play your Bet Your Life for a chance at the $4,500 question. But first, here's something of importance.
Folks, you've been hearing me tell about how much smoother, how much more comfortable the new DeSoto rides. In fact, no other car rides like a DeSoto. And I've told you that the Oriflow shock absorbers are largely responsible for this remarkable ride. So I thought you might like to know more about these great new shock absorbers. Actually, they give maximum effectiveness on all kinds of roads, from a gently rolling road to a really rough one. That's because the new Oriflow shock absorbers are designed to adjust automatically for every type of road bump. But that's not all. DeSoto's longer wheelbase and full cradled ride also assure you of added comfort. And DeSoto's chair-high seats and big, wide doors give you living room comfort. And, of course, it's DeSoto that lets you drive without shifting. So, folks, visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealer and drive the new 1951 DeSoto. Yes, see for yourself why no other car rides like the new DeSoto.
All right, now let's see if you two will get a chance at the $4,500. Squire, would you mind explaining the rules?
Not at all. You bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions. And the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $4,500 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected places with presidents' names. Now, how much of the 20 are you going to try?
15?
Yeah.
15.
$15. All right. What's the name of the world's highest dam? It bears the name of one of our presidents.
Hoover Dam.
Hoover Dam is correct.
And you're off to a good start. You have $35.
Remember, you're going for $4,500 tonight. Now, how much of your $35 will you bet on your second question?
29.
29. The capital of Missouri bears the name of one of our most famous presidents. Which one?
Jefferson City.
Jefferson City is correct.
You now have $64.
$64 question. Here's your third question. How much will you bet on this one?
$60.
$60. Bob Burns comes from a town in Arkansas bearing a president's name. What is the name of this town? Oh, that's a shame. It's too bad. Well, it's Van Buren. You should have known that.
You now have $4.
Well, that's too bad. Well, you got $4, and this is your last chance to beat the other couples. How much would you bet?
Why, sure.
$4. Okay. The second largest city in Nebraska is also named after one of our presidents. What is the name of this city?
Lincoln.
Lincoln is right.
Groucho, before they go, you wouldn't want them to go with just $8, would you?
No, I would. I'll give you one more question. If you get it right, you win $10. Think hard now, and please no help from the audience. Ready? Who was buried in Grant's tomb?
McKinley was.
General McKinley Grant is right. Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Thank you very much. Groucho, the secret word is still the same. It's coat. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a door-to-door bakery salesman and a housewife. And here they are, Mrs. Amy Gaston and Mr. John Chua. Come on in here and meet Groucho Marx, folks.
Welcome, folks, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something people wear. Mrs. Amy Gaston. Huh? Is that right?
Right.
You're the housewife?
Yes, I am.
Where are you from, Amy?
Los Angeles.
Born here?
Right.
Is that so? Native girl, huh?
That's right.
Mr. John Chua?
That's right.
What kind of a name is that, John?
It's Slavish.
Slavish?
Yeah.
You're a Tito man, huh?
That's
Yugoslavia?
Right. Yeah.
Well, at present, he's a very good man. Huh? You're a door-to-door bakery man?
That's right. I work for the Helms Bakery.
Oh, I see. You go around from door to door with your bakery goods, is that right?
That's right.
I suppose your job is one long loaf, eh? One long loaf. I suppose you hear that quite often, don't you? Huh?
Yeah, I sure do. Usually when I hear that, I always tell them I'm glad my bread isn't as stale as that joke.
When you tell them that, do you usually have a bun on?
I got one handy.
Are you married, John?
Yeah.
How did you meet your wife?
Well, I met my wife down in the skating ring.
Was her salary frozen at the time?
No, salary wasn't frozen. I was in the service and didn't have anything to do. One up in the skating ring, and she was behind the counter drinking sodas.
You mean they drafted you and put you in a skating ring?
No, they didn't draft me. No, I went in by my own self.
Oh.
No drafting.
And then you hid in the skating rink until the war was over?
No.
You were just a kind of a gay blade there. Huh? That goes with the bun joke. You're a housewife, and you're from Los Angeles, huh? What sort of work does your husband do, Mrs. Gaston?
He's the manager of a gourmet Beverly restaurant in Beverly Hills.
Oh, I thought you looked rather well fed. How did you meet your husband?
Well, we were both working at Lockheed during the war, and finally one day I heard through the grapevine that he was going to be drafted in the Army Air Corps, so I had a chance to have him sign some papers. I was in the engineering department. But he came back that evening to get his coat.
You said the secret word. You said coat. You said the secret word, coat, and you and your friend over here, Mr. Chua, here's $50 apiece. And then you got married?
Well, then, of course, he did hit the Army Air Corps, and he was in a German internment camp, so it was about 2.5 years later.
How long have you lived here in Los Angeles?
29 years.
Mrs. Gaston, how many candles did you have on your last birthday cake?
21.
Oh, come now. When were you born?
1921.
1921. Let's see. 1921, the 1951, the 22, 26. What happened to the other candles? Wouldn't they light?
Well, the last time I had a birthday cake, it was on my 21st birthday.
Pretty sly, aren't you? Well, you outfoxed me. Obviously, you weren't born yesterday. You're a door-to-door salesman.
That's
then.
right.
How do you operate? I should have asked the doctor that, I guess. Well, okay. How do you operate?
Well, I load my truck with Helms merchandise every morning.
Well, when it's loaded, do you have a bun on?
Got quite a few buns on, yeah.
Well, if you stay in your truck, how does the housewife know you're there? Do you throw a biscuit through the side of the house?
No, she hears my whistle.
That sounds like interesting work, huh? You mean you just whistle and women come bounding out of their houses?
That's right.
How much would you charge to teach me the Helms whistle? Let me hear you whistle, John. Go ahead. Pretend I'm a housewife, and I'm inside burning my husband's dinner. Now, exactly what do I hear?
Oh, brother. That's about the best I can do.
What kind of women do you get with that whistle? They better be wearing their hearing aids. Now, how does your bakery stuff compare with your wife's baking?
Oh, brother, that's hard to answer.
Of course, if you answer, you lose either your wife or your job. Answer me, John.
Well, all I can say is our bakery goods are hard to beat.
Congratulations, John. You just lost your wife. Now do you want to try for 2 wives? What's the most popular item your bakery turns out?
Well, we got marble cakes, coconut cakes, jelly donuts, Tuesdays, Fridays.
Jelly donuts Tuesdays and Fridays.
That's right.
Well, that's the way it should be. Jelly donuts Tuesdays and Friday, matinees Wednesdays and Saturdays. How much are your jelly donuts on Tuesdays and Fridays?
60 cents a dozen.
And how much are they on Mondays and Wednesdays?
We don't have them them days.
Well, they ought to be a lot cheaper on Mondays and Wednesdays. That's the old egg joke, you know, about the fella goes in the grocery store and says, how much are your eggs? And the grocer says, 70 cents a dozen. He says, cracked eggs are 40 cents a dozen. He says, okay, crack me a dozen. It was easier to crack those eggs than it was that joke, I assure you. Do you get many calls for wedding cakes?
Oh, yeah, they're special order cakes.
Well, could you describe a wedding cake? Do they all have Governor Dewey on top?
No. Don't have it.
How about birthday cakes?
That's special order cake, too.
Well, how do you sell them?
Well, they come $2.50.
Suppose I wanted candles on my cake. How much would that run?
Well, that's cost extra, too. They're a penny a piece.
A penny a candle?
Penny a
huh?
candle.
Well, I'd need 40 of them. The reason I only need 40 is because I always burn the candle at both ends. How do you get to know your customers, John?
Well, they get out in the truck there and start to buy your merchandise. You get 2, 3 come around there, and you get to talking with them, and next thing you know, well, you're pretty friendly with them.
You ever tell them jokes, John, like, I hope my bread is as fresh as you are?
Oh, now and then, yeah.
Could you tell us one of your jokes? One of your home-baked specials? Come on, let's hear a wheeze, huh?
Oh, well, about the woman come out and asked the baker man if he had any good marble cake, and the baker man said, yeah. He says, would you like to try a piece? She says, no. She says, I'll take it for granted.
Well, that's a baker's joke, all right. You need a lot of crust to tell a joke like that. Did you have a bun on when you told that joke? Well, it's been entertaining talking to a bakery man, and if I ever need any dough, John, I'll go to the Bank of America. Now you're going to play your bet your life for a chance at $4,500. I can't tell you how much our first couple won, but Mr. Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The doctor and the housewife won $8.
Now, here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected child movie stars. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
15.
15?
All right, 15. What is the name of the former child star who teamed with Charlie Chaplin?
Jackie Coogan.
Jackie Coogan is right. John, you should have known that, Coogan, because Coogan means cake in German.
You folks now have $35.
Remember, you're going for $4,500 tonight. It's a lot of money. How much of the 35 will you bet this time?
Made about 30.
$30. The Wizard of Oz starred a young girl who has developed into one of the top talents in pictures. What's her name?
Judy Garland?
Judy Garland is right.
You're climbing now. You have $65.
Here's your third question. How much of the 65 are you going to risk? $50. Okay. What is the name of the English child star who starred as Little Lord Fauntleroy?
Oh, I know it. What is his name?
Talk it over. I'm sorry. It's Freddie Bartholomew. Should have known that.
You now have $15.
You now have $15. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much are you going to bet?
No worries. Get it over with.
$15? Mm-hmm. An English picture elephant boy made a star out of a kid from the Far East. What's his name?
Sabu.
Sabu is right.
And you'll wind up with $30.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Groucho, the secret word is still coat. We invited some little girls and some doll makers to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Lynn Crookston and Mr. Joseph Reich. Folks, come on in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome, kids, to You Bet Your Life. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something people wear. A doll maker and a little girl, eh? Mm-hmm. Miss, you're the little girl, huh?
Yes.
Well, you could be a doll maker, too, you know. How old are you, Lynn?
8.
8?
Mm-hmm.
Are you from the East?
No.
That's too bad. I could call you East Lynn if you were. You're 8 years old, huh?
Yes.
And you're the doll maker?
Yes.
How old? You're more than 8, huh?
Oh, just about 48.
48?
That's right.
Where are you from?
New York.
Where were you born, Lynn?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles?
Mm-hmm.
Right here. How come you were born in Los Angeles?
Because that's where my father works.
Well, it's always nice to be born near your father. Of course, it's more convenient to be born near your mother. What sort of work does your father do, Lynn?
He's a fireman.
A fireman? Does he wear red suspenders?
Yes. I guess so.
Why does he wear red suspenders, do you know?
I guess to hold his pants up.
I don't understand how a girl 8 years old knows a joke that old. I hope she doesn't start with that bun-on joke before. Are you married, Mr. Rich? Reich?
Yes, sir.
How do you pronounce it, Rich or
Reich?
Reich, huh? You're not married?
I am.
Oh, you are married. Are you married, Lynn?
No.
Why aren't you married? An attractive, charming girl like you?
I'm not old enough.
Well, that's true. How old do you think you ought to be before you got married?
26.
26?
26.
Why do you want to wait that long? Don't you think 18, 19 would be a nice age to get married?
No, because I want to go to college.
And it's going to take you to 26 to get out of college?
Oh, I don't know.
You'll go through with flying colors, Lynn. If this conversation we're having is any example. Let's talk about dolls. What's your job with the company, Joseph?
Well, to see the dolls go out as a production man.
Oh, you're a production man?
Yes.
What kind of dolls do you manufacture at your place?
All kinds. Soft, hard dolls, skin dolls.
What makes a doll hard? Some bitter experience?
No, not exactly. It's the material content. Some are plastic.
Isn't it wonderful how they make dolls these days? They even talk.
They sure do.
What I'd like is a doll that doesn't talk. What doll company do you work for?
No More Electric.
An electric company makes dolls?
That's
Well,
right.
some of the dolls I've been out with have been pretty shocking, but I didn't... Do you have a boyfriend, Lynn?
Yes.
How old is this Prince Charming?
But 8 3/4.
Is that his height or his age?
His age.
8 3/4, huh? Do you prefer older men? Do you think I'm too old, for example?
You mean to get married? What do you mean?
Lynn, you don't have to sound quite so alarmed. How old do you think I am?
Well, about 35.
That's what I like about kids. They're not afraid to tell you the brutal truth. Well, thanks to you two, I know all about dolls. Now then, we're going to play the big game. Let's see how well you make out in the quiz. You run your $20 and no more than our other couples. And you get a chance at the $4,500 question. I can't tell you how much the other couples won, but George Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The bakeryman and the housewife are leading with $30.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected largest cities in the states. Here's your first question. Now, how much of the 20 are you going to bet?
Well, how many do we want to bet?
15, maybe.
15 out of the 20.
$15. What is the largest city in Colorado?
Denver.
Denver is right.
Well, you're on your way. You have $35.
You're on your way with 35, and remember, you're going for $4,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 35 are you going to try?
Let's try 30.
25.
All right, 25.
You know who wears the pants in that
Yes.
family. All right, what's the largest city in Arizona?
Phoenix.
Phoenix is right. I'll look at it myself. I always thought it was Cleveland.
You're really climbing. You have $60 now.
You got $60, Len. Here's your third question. How much of the 60 are you going to bet?
50.
Don't let them push you around, Len.
Take 50 of it.
Okay, what's the largest city in Iowa?
Des Moines.
Des Moines is right.
You're up there now. You have $110.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 110 are you going to risk?
Take 90.
All right.
$90. What is the largest city in Idaho?
Boise.
Boise is right.
You wind up with $200, and that means that you, too, with your $200, get the chance of the DeSoto Plymouth $4,500 question.
Now it's up to you.
Now, in just 1 minute, I'll ask them the big question. But first, I want everybody to pay attention to a matter of great importance.
By now, you're probably one of the many thousands who have seen the superb new DeSoto, either at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers or riding along the road with some friend proudly seated behind the wheel. Well, then, I don't have to tell you it's a beautiful car to look at. Long and low with sweeping lines from front bumper to rear bumper. Yes, it is a lovely car, this 1951 DeSoto. One you'll be proud to have in your driveway. And it's more than just a beautiful automobile. It's as economical a car to own and to operate as has ever been designed. In the first place, it costs you only a little more than the lowest price cars. And day after day, week after week, the economy of owning a new DeSoto becomes more evident to you. Its new, more powerful engine makes the most of every gallon of gas. And, of course, it has fluid drive with tip-toe shift, the perfected automatic transmission that lets you drive without shifting. So hurry on down to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers and get behind the wheel of the greatest car ever to bear the famous name DeSoto. No other car rides like it.
All right, here we go for $4,500. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully. And please, no help from the audience. The only known diamond mine in North America can be found in the Wonder State. For $4,500, tell me, what is the Wonder State? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Alaska.
No, I'm sorry. The answer is Arkansas.
I'm close to it.
Correct answer is Arkansas. That means the big question next week will be worth $5,000. Well, you lost the big money, but how much did they win in the quiz, George?
Well, $200 in the quiz, Roger.
Well, congratulations and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $5,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember,
All dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. The 3 R's of safe driving are ready, reasonable, right. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.